We are live. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of JENOCH Radio. Place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born a Lot, and we got royalty in the building today. Okay, we got a groundbreaking warrior who has been at the forefront of shaping and molding what we know as the conscious community through insight and never ever pulling any punches with us in regards to being very realistic about practical applications of what it means to be conscious, to be aware, and to be actively in pursuits of goals and aspirations related to this. We got a man of many talents, a man with many gifts and many different spheres of influence along this way and along this road. So becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce and present to others uh, a hero of mine and a thought leader in our community, our brother Sutek Amen Ra.
Peace and
Welcome to
Black
the
Power,
show.
family. Yeah, you got that intro down pat, baby. That was a mean intro. I ain't never been introduced like that before. That was nice. Salute to you, man.
Hey, truth be told, you know what I'm saying? Truth be told,
Uh-huh.
uh, we go back some years, and from episode one of Do the Knowledge Radio, uh, you know, over 1,500 episodes ago between Blog Talk and here,
Woo.
combined, uh, you're here, you know, you're here, and you've been here every
Uh-huh.
time that I asked you, every time that I called on you. You sit up saying, from episode one, until now. So it's just great to be able to, share the same space with you and, kind of chart the development. A lot of
Right.
people fell by the wayside. We lost some epic, legends from us, along the way. And, you know, we're still here, resilient, and, shit, you look younger than you did back in the day. You understand what I'm saying? So, definitely glad to have you in the building. What's going on with you? How you doing, my
It's,
brother?
my brother, it's great to be here, and I try to support people wherever I can, you know what I'm saying? Because this journey that we're on, it's an important journey, and really it's just a continuation. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing new. It's a continuation of Malcolm, of Marcus, of Elijah, of Harriet, of Noble Drew. It's just a continuation, and I'm honored and blessed to be to be in line to soldier up and come in and do my part, brother. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about to me. I came in on the shoulders of some great people. Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Professor James Smalls, Dr. Marimba Ani, um, and then some brothers that a lot of people don't know about. My brother
Right,
Sekou Fortune. Um,
right.
so you know, I'm just trying to do my part and share my experiences, share um, my ideas, with the people because it's going to take that collective mindset to get us in moving in the direction that we need to move in to accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish. And one of the things we need to do is really set some goals. So I'm just I'm just glad to be able to still be here. Like you said, we done lost a lot of people.
Right.
Glad to still be here to be able to contribute, man. That's it. And I want to salute you in your longevity and your commitment. You know what I'm saying? You committed to this 1,500 shows, brother. That's a commitment. And people need to recognize that. That's what we need. If we have more people committed like that, our journey would be a lot smoother.
Well, it took a lot of lessons along the way, and I was involved in the lanes that I was involved in before I hit the camera. 20 years before my face was on the camera.
Right.
Ghostface was Ghostface for like two songs. You understand what I'm saying? I was Ghostface for 20 years.
Right.
I was Ghostface for 20 years, and my mother was out, and my father was out in the streets of New York and the streets of New Jersey. Uh, this legacy, helping our people, resurrecting our people from a mentally dead state and with physical maladies that were toppling them. Their contribution was in health and wellness and in spirituality. They were in those streets. They was in Harlem. They was in Brooklyn. They was in
Right.
Queens. They was in, they was in New Jersey, and what I'm saying, walking back and forth from New York to New Jersey. You see what I'm saying? Like all literally walking, like what I'm saying. And I was a result of that commitment to people. So my commitment came, from both of those tracks, the spiritual track and the holistic health practitioner track. So, you know, losing my mom, losing Dr. Africa, losing Dr. Delbert Blair, and so many of those in that epicenter in space is this is where I came from. So
Right.
this community, I was brought up in this community. My mother took me on my 10th birthday to the Harriet Tubman School to see her get the Harriet Tubman Recipient Award for her community work. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? And so it's
Uh-huh.
not like I'm new here. You see what I'm saying? It's just,
Right.
and I showed my mother to the world. I waited 12 years. Black Dot, A. Rashid, True Master. They came over to Germany. We did, the 2-day conference over there, and I
Right.
showed my mother to the world. You see what I'm saying? And then, 12 years later, I came on the scene to be public in the eyes. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So, I
Yep.
come from a long history of my family. My mother's father and my mother's mother was in the community in the streets before them. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? On both sides of the family, my father's family and my mother's family were
Right.
out. So I come from a legacy of service to our people. You see what I'm saying? So when I think about you, I think about you in the same fashion, being either in the forefront or the behind the scenes, making sure everything happened. Oftentimes at the same time. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Oftentimes at the same time, making stuff happen where they see you and when they don't see you, but at the same time, you still, making things happen. So, in that space of longevity, since we were speaking about longevity, what were some of the keys to success and some of the key takeaways from the experience, working for and with our people over this extended period of time for you?
Some of the key successes you're saying.
Successes and takeaways, like just lessons learned too, on
Mhm.
top of, the successes.
Right. Well, I think one of the successes, something that I'm like kind of proud of, was as far as the movement is concerned, is when I had the store over in Harlem. I had the store Soul Brothers Boutique, and how you said sometimes, I would work the front lines and behind the scenes. I used to have lectures in my store, and I think I had just about every big speaker at the time come through there. Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, Nellie Fuller, Marimba Ani, James Smalls, Dr. Ben, Tony Browder, Dr. Sabi. I had all these people come through my store and give lectures and speak. I had Taj Tariq Bey. He came in and damn, what's the sister's name that used to be with Taj? Roslyn, Sister Roslyn. They used to give classes in my store. Professor Kaba, he used to have his Per Ankh Academy in my
Mm.
store, and a lot of people didn't even know it was my store. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even know it was my store. They would see me there, but they wouldn't even know it was my store. They would just know, come for the class, come for the lecture. You know what I'm saying? I had my niece April that would work for me there, and a lot of people didn't even know it was my store. And that's and at the time, man, that's how That's how I liked it. Be behind the scenes and, you know, just make sure things go really smooth. So, you know, helping the community, helping bring knowledge to the community, that was one of the successes. That was something like a takeaway that I'm very proud of. And in addition to helping other Black businesses, because I used to carry other people's products in my store. You know, if a brother had a T-shirt line, I would carve some space out for him to put his T-shirts in there. I used to help brothers that had DVDs that, you know, sell their DVDs in the store. I was carrying Sabi products in the store. Some people had, you know, some of the sisters was making jewelry and health products. I would carry them in the store. I had my own T-shirt line in the store, you know. So that's something I'm like, you know, really proud of. It's just unfortunate that Harlem changed so much and the rents went so high. I think if I came along maybe 2 or 3 years later, because when I left the store, YouTube and social media was just getting big. If I was able to hang on just a little bit longer and take advantage of the marketing from social media, we might have been able to make it. But with the rents going up with the way they were, it was just hard to stay there. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I had it for about 10 years, and that's something that I take away from my contribution. Other than, like you're saying, just trying to bring a common sense approach to our struggle.
Yeah, you had the storefront line and you had the streets front line, you know, out there with Brother Big Man, you know,
Yeah.
and Dr. Jack Felder, and, you know, so many of those unsungs that went through there
Right.
that were major staples.
Big Man, rest
you
in
know,
peace,
major
Brother Big
staples.
Man.
Rest in peace. Right. Yeah, I mean, so many great ones, you know, who don't get the esteem that they do, you know.
Rest in peace, Doc Felder.
Right. You know, Azariah and like the hit squad. You'll get you get there's a hit squad out there. You are just out there.
My
You
brother
understand?
Sekou. You know Sekou?
Yeah.
You knew Sekou?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my brother Sekou.
Yeah.
I grew up under Sekou from a little kid. Me and one of his younger brothers was like brothers, you know. Sekou was like my big brother growing up, you know. So he was going to trips with Dr. Ben when I didn't know nothing about it. When I knew nothing about consciousness, he was already taking trips to Egypt with Dr. Ben. So
we just said from some great lines out there. You see what I'm
yes,
saying?
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
You were here during the height of consciousness, and you've seen the shift, you've seen the decline, you've seen the rise, you've seen the decline, you've seen the rise, you've seen the decline, you see the rise. Kind of paint us a picture for those who are not familiar, because I really want people to understand why I said some of the things that I said at the beginning. Like, you really got to paint a little picture for them. You see what I'm saying? Like, you really saw this go from VHS tapes to DVDs to fully digital.
Well, like
you know
I
what
was,
I mean?
like I was saying when we was up before we went live, we've been through a lot of growing pains. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the beginning, the community was a little more tight knit because you had to go out, you had to leave the house. You know what I'm saying? You had to go to the location to meet with people. It was back then. It was a lot of formal interpersonal meetings that people would have. We would have the study groups where we would get a book. I have several study groups in my store, you know, and there were study groups in other places. People would, you know, get a book and they would all read the book and come back and discuss the book. You know, we had in my store, we had a study group on Blueprint for Black Power by Amos Wilson. And that study group lasted like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it was very, you know, the conscious community back then was very personal. You know, people were close. People were it was more unified. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you know, technology came along and changed that, and we hadn't caught up to it. So that, you know, kind of, I don't want to say it watered down the consciousness, but it let people who weren't serious about it come and participate and leave and come back and leave. Where before, once you were in, you were in. You know what I'm saying? When they had a meeting, you was at the meeting, you know, and people counted on you to show up. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, with YouTube and Facebook and all that, you know, you could come and go as you please. And that sort of took away from some of the cohesion of the community. But we're catching up, you know, we're catching up to the technology. You know, one of the detriments of it, it allowed some people to come in and take advantage of us. You know what I'm saying? Got some slick talking cat that was able to come in and, you know, put on the Black Power face when they really had other ulterior motives. You know, technology did that. But it was a growing pain. You know, now we know how to recognize these people, and it's going to be harder for people to come in and take advantage of us. But, you know, we'll catch up to the technology, and we'll be back strong again. I'm very, very confident that we'll be back strong again.
I agree. So now you're one of the few people that are in the community that push economic initiative. You know, along with other initiatives, you had to teach our own initiative. You definitely were very, very strong and vocal about economic base and an economic blueprint. So can we talk about that?
When you analyze the environment in which you live and what makes it run, you understand that this country is built on economics. It's what makes it's the gas that makes the engine run, is economics. My issue is that the people who are promoting economic platforms right now, they're going about it an entirely wrong way. They're mimicking the Caucasians' path to economic empowerment, and that's not a path for the Black man and woman. They're mimicking a path for Asians' economic empowerment, but that's not a path for the Black man and woman in America. We need to take a totally different approach to economic empowerment. The economic empowerment that these other platforms are promoting is really just an individual empowerment. It's not a Black economic empowerment. It's Black economic empowerment is a racial idea. It's not an individual idea. You understand? So for me to tell you, start a business and do this and do that and be successful, that's not Black economic empowerment. That's just me helping you to start a business. We need the race to be economically strong for any one of us to be economically strong. And the strategies and the programs that are being laid out by some of these other platforms is just trying to make the individual economically strong, thinking that if we can get enough individuals economically strong, then it will make the race economically strong. But their basis is still dependent on the Caucasian. You understand? Get your credit. We'll help you fix your credit. Now you can get business loans and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Well, that just keeps you still. What it does is turns you into a sharecropper. You know what I'm saying? It's like you still working on his land as an illustration. You know, you're still working on his land, and therefore he still is in control. If you borrowing money from him, then he controls you. So a lot of the economic platforms, I totally disagree with them. Some of their concepts is good, but I totally disagree with them. And we have to have an understanding of capitalism. A lot of people, they speak about capitalism, but they really don't know what it is and how it operates and what it's supposed to do. So therefore, they don't know how to maneuver in it and how to manipulate it to work for them. And then as a result, if you don't know how to manipulate capitalism to work for you, it's a double-edged sword. It will definitely work against you. We don't understand the weapons that we have to use to fight in our struggle. And all of these weapons are double-edged swords. If you don't use them to cut, they will cut you. And you know, that's one of my main issues with some of these economic platforms. But economics, education, entertainment, politics, those are the main battlefields that we have to fight for. Those are the main battlefields that we have to fight on if we're going to continue this journey to any type of self-determination and respectability on this planet. Not just in this country, but on this planet.
Now, a while back, I heard you talking about distribution, and distribution being a focal point. You know, it's not a thing to just be able to create, products and services. You know, how are these things distributed? Where are we missing the critical point in regards to, the aspect of ownership and controlling, but also distribution? Where's the breakdown?
Well, distribution is the key. That's why in the music business, before technology, that's why in the music business, the Caucasian held all the cards because he controlled the distribution. You understand? You could have a record, you could have an album, but if you couldn't get it into the stores, technology changed that now. You don't really need a record deal in order to sell your music. You got guys selling music, 50,000, 100,000 copies straight on the internet, straight on their own websites. If their marketing game is tight, but we have to control. You either have to control production or distribution. You understand what I'm saying? You either have to control the production of a product or the distribution of a product. You have to get in on that chain because see, there's no longer the middleman. The middleman has been eliminated pretty much in business. So now you have manufacturers and distributors. That's the ultimate retail component of the product chain. So, we need to get in on one of those avenues in order to be not just only successful, but viable, you know, to have control. Right now, Black people are mainly just consumers. In our communities, we should control the distribution in our communities. There's no way that Korean Black hair care manufacturers should have Koreans distributing the products in our communities. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you got the manufacturing facilities that's making the products. You need to come to us to sell them in our community. Don't put your people in our community to sell your products. So we need to either control the distribution or the manufacturing. If the Koreans are going to control the distribution, the retail stores, then we need to control the manufacturing of the product. We have to get in that chain. We have to get in that formula somehow, except for just being the end consumer. Otherwise, your money doesn't circulate. Still with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So
I thought, I didn't hear the end part. I just heard, or your money doesn't circulate, and I didn't know if you were still speaking.
No. But see, that's the goal of capitalism. That's one of the goals of capitalism, is for your money to circulate in your community before, it's going to leave your community at some point because you're going to put it in a bank, but it needs to circulate in your community several times before it leaves your community. And right now, our money does not circulate in our community more than 24 hours.
So how do you teach this mindset? Because I know you work with a lot of our people over the years. You understand what I'm saying? Trying to teach a old dog old tricks. You understand what I'm saying?
Let me tell you.
So how do you get through?
When we discuss money, when we discuss money with Black people, when Black people discuss money with Black people, that's a hard subject to talk about. That's a hard subject to talk about. And all of our great leaders have had this discussion. Marcus Garvey's had this discussion. Elijah Muhammad's had this discussion. Dr. Amos Wilson has had this discussion. Dr. Claude Anderson is having this discussion. You understand? They done laid out the blueprint. They done laid out everything we need to do. We have more Black MBAs now than any other time in history. We have more Black finance people now than any time in history. And we still haven't figured out a way to control our economics. That's because the people still have that Willie Lynch mentality of trusting the Caucasian more than they trust the Black man. And sometimes with good reason, because like I said, technology allowed some unscrupulous individuals to infiltrate our community and take advantage of us. You understand? And those people get highlighted, but that happens in all ethnic groups. It's nothing unique to the conscious community. It's nothing unique to Black people. Sometimes I can't sleep at night and I'm up watching TV and I see a white guy on there selling blessing oil. Talk about, yeah, send me $125 and I'll send you this 6 ounce of blessing oil and you'll get everything in life you ever asked for. You ever see those commercials, those things?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's calling him a scam artist. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't hear anybody calling him a scam artist. I don't hear anybody blaming the network for putting him on there, selling him that ad time. You know, we just have to be smart and deal with people with integrity. That's why I don't shuck and jive people. I honor my word, and I try to lead with my integrity first, so that when I speak, people can know it's coming from my heart and it's not coming from no trying to be slick shit or whatever.
So what about this new excursion you've been on with that sign behind you, like Father, like Son podcast? What has that? What was the inception for that idea, and how's it been so far? Working with your light skinned twin.
You know what? Let me tell you. I was watching brother Black Dot. I had subscribed to his channel, his Urban XTV that he does with his son. And
Right.
man, I admired that so much, man. I admired that so much. And I had never said nothing to my son about it because he doesn't know Black Dot, And one day he came to me and said, "Yo, Dad, you know what? We should do a podcast together." And he just went on with it. We call it like Father like Son, boom, boom, boom. And a lot of the stuff you discuss on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, we'll discuss those topics in our podcast. And I was like, wow, man, that he came to me and broached that idea with me. And let me tell you, man, it is like heaven sent. It is like heaven sent to sit down and like a lot of the good conversations happen off camera. When we're discussing what we're going to discuss on camera, we go into some deep shit, off camera. And I sit back and I listen to him and his point of view and everything. And I be like, damn, man, you a smart dude. I'm like totally impressed with him. He's a radio personality down here in Atlanta. He's got a couple of shows on the #1 radio station, hip hop station in Atlanta, 107.9. He's got a couple of shows. He's on the air. What's New with Stu? And he's doing really, really good with that. But this is something me and him are doing together. And, we try to bring our unique flavor to some of these issues that are facing us, because when I sit back and I look at the direction that we're going as a people, it's heartbreaking. When I left New York, I was heavily involved with Sarnetta. Shout out to my brother Sarnetta. I was heavily involved with House of Consciousness, and used to see me out there, doing the videos. And when I left New York and came down south, I thought I was going to retire. You know what I'm saying? And really, just I moved down here to take care of my mother. She's 91 years old. She's doing good. And I just came down here to take care of her. She was living by herself. Came down here to take care of herself. And I was just going to fade into darkness, man. You know what I'm saying? But the more I see the direction that we're going, and like I was saying, when I'm hearing these brothers with these economic platforms and what they're promoting, and I'm saying, nah, man, that's not it. That's not going to get it. I realized I had to come back out of retirement like Jordan. You know what I'm saying? and try to bring some clarity and some direction. There's really no direction in this conscious community, and I'm seeing how much flack the conscious community is taking, but people don't realize how desperately it is needed. The conscious community is needed, especially at this point. And I don't see the youth coming up behind us, taking the mantle. You know, I see some of the young cats coming up, but their focus isn't on something that's going to move the race forward. You know, it's like, okay, we got A, B, C, and D, and everybody's concentrating on C and D. They're not concentrating on A and B, the important stuff, you know, the real important stuff, the economics, the psychology of our brains, you know, the training that we've been through that make us act the way we act. Like, people sit back and they look at the things we do. Black people look at the things other Black people do, and they condemn them for it, not realizing we're trained to do that. You know what I'm saying? We've been trained to disrespect our women. Our women have been trained to think that they can exist without a man. We've been trained to do these certain things, and they're not concentrating on who's doing the training. They're just blaming the trained. You know what I'm saying? And that's something we have to. It's just so much. It's just so much that sometimes it gets overwhelming for me, and I say to myself, I could talk to. I'm blue in the face. And ain't nobody going to hear it. Ain't nobody going to listen. But then I sit back and I say, Malcolm put his life on the line for that. You know, we had so many of our people that died so that we could compete and do better in this world. And for me to give up, I just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't do it. So now I had to get back in the fight. And, you know, this podcast is part of me getting back in the fight. I have a company called the KEMETIC Science of Prosperity, and I feel we have the most comprehensive strategy to Black empowerment, Black economic empowerment. It's comprehensive because it encompasses economics, politics, entertainment, and education. Some platforms just concentrate on economics, and economics by itself isn't going to do it. It's going to take more than money to be economically empowered. You have to deal with the psychology of the people. So that's the education right there. We have to take responsibility for educating our own children. We can't keep sending our kids. People say they fighting white supremacy, but they send their kids to public schools and let white folks teach them. You're not fighting white supremacy, you're feeding white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, Malcolm said, and I'm not really one to be quoting people all the time, but when somebody says something that makes sense, I gotta repeat it. Malcolm said, only a fool will send his child to his oppressor to be educated. You know, so, you know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things that we need to be clear on, and I don't think that clarity has been presented to us in a way that we can understand it and understand the urgency of the time in which we live. So that's why with this this celebration that we're doing August 14th and 15th, 100 years in the Whirlwind that the brothers is promoting, That's what I'm going to address in my economic empowerment presentation, these elements, and compare them to the current strategies that are being put out there for economic empowerment.
So what are some of the things you're gonna be emphasizing? You know, 'cause I know you coming no holds barred out there. You know what I'm saying? What's some of the things you look forward to?
I'm not gonna play no games with them, baby. I'm not gonna play no games with them. Some of the things I'm gonna be emphasizing is, like I'm saying, the psychology that Black people carry around with them every day. In psychology 101 tells you that all behavior is motivated, and behavior is learned. You learn to do things. So who's teaching us, and what are they teaching? Why can a Black kid and a white kid go to school together from kindergarten to 6th grade to high school? One comes out and goes to college, and one comes out and goes to the street and sell drugs. Same education. Why is that?
If they came from the same family, their family told them.
See, we perpetuate the nigga factor.
If you dealing with if you dealing with their family, they said you're gonna be the criminal and you're gonna be the lawyer. You understand what I'm saying? You're gonna be the policeman and you're gonna be the DA. You see what I'm saying? So they send their children in the way that they're supposed to go. So they know if he out here robbing, he not gonna put him in jail. And if he go to jail, he gonna get him off. You see what I'm saying? So this is how they control their business and the way around off of that same situation. With the crime, with the punishment, with the appearance of justice and punishing crime, and everybody's eating. You see what I'm saying? So this is how they do it in one family. And they showed you in what was the movie We Own the Night, or any of those other places. They raise these guys up to go do this, and this. You see what I'm saying? And so they really put that into their family. So from one family to the next. Right.
They groom their kids to fill positions. You know what I'm saying? They groom them to fill positions. We don't groom our children. We don't groom our children. We don't direct them. We just throw them out there and let society dictate what happens to them.
Right.
And for Black people, that's not a good formula.
Yeah, we came from generations who did do that. And the art form that was lost is, the family business, from that. The family business. If such and such fixed the cars, that was the car fixing family, the dressmaking family. You see what I'm saying? This is how, he was able to move into these storefronts and do it. But it started from home. You did in the family business. And then you went into business for you. That was the real business first. The family business.
Family business, and then they made it grow.
Right.
And then they grow. The son comes along and he takes it to the next level. Then the son comes back and he takes it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? That's
we see stuff outside of ourselves and think that it's some kind of something that we don't do. Like we did it, we no longer do it. This is why it looks foreign to us. You see what I'm saying? That was the only way survival, and it wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just one thing. You might have
that happen. You could track in history when that shift started to happen. In the 60s, when we had the Black Power movement in the 60s, and the Caucasians said, okay, how are we gonna, calm this thing down? 60s and 70s, they made college available to a mass number of Black kids. It took those kids that came from the Black Power movement put them in college. Now he had them chasing the white dream. Remember, did you see the movie Gonna Get You, Sucker?
I'm gonna get you, sucker. They went into federal guns and they came out with
Yeah,
jobs.
then we came out with jobs. That's what it was. That's what it was. You know, we went to college and then we coming out looking for jobs for the white man instead of bringing that knowledge back to our communities and building our communities up. When these Indians come from India over here to go to medical school and law school and all these other schools, what do? They come here, they get the education, they get some work experience, and boom, they go right back to their countries and take that information back to their countries. Right. The reason why the oil companies, the oil companies are now owned by the countries when OPEC formed, because them Arabs sent their kids to Europe and to United States to learn the oil business.
Right.
And then when they got that knowledge and learned how to run oil companies and stuff, they went back home and said, okay, we're taking these companies back from you. Because they had they called them the seven sister oil companies. Mm-hmm. They was owned by different companies in Europe, BP, Shell, Mobil, Exxon, all of that. And they used to pay the nations a royalty. So they was getting pennies on the dollar. And the European nations was getting the lion's share. And the Arabs said, you know what? We're going to learn how to run this business, then we're going to come back and take our shit back. And that's exactly what they did. Now they got the stronghold on it, you know? So and I was talking to some of my friends that I went to school with, and I said, man, you know, our generation dropped the ball. Our generation dropped the ball. Instead of taking this knowledge when we went to college and got out and bringing it back to the community, which was the intention of us going. You know, when the brothers was protesting in the early 60s and all of that, it was for us to go to college, get the knowledge, and bring it back to the community. No, we went to college, got the knowledge, and went to work for the white companies. And what does that do? That perpetuates white supremacy. That keeps them with the stronghold. That stops us from competing. Let me tell you something. This Caucasian knows what he's doing. That was his plan all along. That was his plan all along. So he thinks 40, 50, 60 years ahead. He's already in the year 2080, and we worrying about 2020. And he already knows what the landscape is going to look like in 2080, 2030, 2050. He already knows. We need to catch up. We definitely need to catch up. And the only way we're going to catch up is knowing the weapons and the tools that we have at our disposal. Years ago, when I was designing T-shirts, I came across a quote by Nat Turner, and it stuck with me. I made a T-shirt out of it, but it stuck with me for years, and it's something that in all my approaches to this economic empowerment, I use that as a backdrop. And Nat Turner's quote was, "I will destroy my enemy with his own weapons." And I'm like, wow, man, that's so deep. That's so, especially when you think of the time and place where Nat Turner was and what he had at his disposal. He said, I will destroy him with his own weapons. And one of the main weapons that he used to destroy them with was the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? He used the Bible to rile up the other slaves to go out there and kill them Caucasians, to revolt. Now, I'm learning, and I want to show people the other weapons that they use against us that we can use against them for our liberation. You understand? And that's what I'm gonna be discussing in my presentation with the Black August, the celebration 100 years in the Whirlwind. The weapons that we have and how to use them for our liberation, for self-determination.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this up. You know, I got some other shows coming up. We on at 5 and then at 9 for for as far as this Whirlwind series is going on. So
Right.
final remarks, shout outs, social media, how people can get a hold of you, how they can sign up for them financial classes, because I know you still got them popping somewhere. You understand? I already know you still got them. You see what I'm saying? So
I don't have the classes, but you can go to my website, www.ksp, the number 4 ever, KSP number 4 ever.com, and you can sign up there. We're going to be doing an investment club. It's called 5,000 Conscious Millionaires, and that's going to be, we talk about money with Black folks, but that is the basis of the economic empowerment program right there. www.ksp, the number 4 ever.com. You can link up with me on Instagram, Sutek Amen Ra, and on Facebook, Sutek Amen Ra. All right. I want to give a shout out to my brother Sarnetta, my brother Black Dot, my son, Radio God Stu, Octu G's, you, Knowledge Born Allah, Professor James Smalls, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, remember Ani. Those are my people right there. My man Bezo, Do the Knowledge Radio. Let's get it.
all right. And I wanted to ask you still working with BDOT and the brothers? What's going on with that real quick before you go?
I still, me and BDOT, I'm not managing BDOT anymore. Logistically, it was just kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? But me and the brothers in contact with each other very frequently. The brothers with United Front and TAHIR, that's my family. You know what I'm saying? We all family. So, I'm always in contact with them, working with them, helping them out with things. The brother Bumani, he shouted me out, asked me to come in and be part of this 100 years in the Whirlwind. So yeah, we still working together. I give them ideas all the time and talk to them, about helping them out with their movement. But they also work with me on the Teach Our Own initiative. Go to the website,
Right.
www.kspforever.com, and we got mission statements on all our different departments, and let you know what we're doing and how it's going down.
Yeah, if they look on the screen right now, they'll be able to see it. See
Yeah,
a little preview.
That's it right there.
So yeah, I definitely thank you for your time, for your attention, for your jewels. As always,
Thank you,
it's always great to get. It's all love. You already know. So,
yeah.
Give my
Black
to mom.
The Negroes got the die.
That's right. That is right. Yeah. So you enjoy the rest of your day. Give my love to moms and to your fam, to your son. You know what I'm saying? And tell him he delinquent. He owed me an interview. You understand what I'm saying?
I get him on here for sure.
Radio Stu owed me. He owed me some interviews.
Yeah. They had his picture up on the those trucks they drive around with the big screen on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they riding around Atlanta with his picture on it, so his head kind of big right now.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
All right, brother.
Huh?
Black Power.
Black Power. Yeah, so we're gonna get up out of here, family. Make sure y'all go to www.dtc1.org for your tickets. Get your tickets. Y'all see how this conference is shaking up and taking the world by storm. So don't get caught on the don't get caught with the banana in the tailpipe. You understand what I'm saying? Make sure you go, get your tickets ASAP. I guarantee you that this thing is going to sell out. 3 days, over 30 speakers, 5 out of 7 continents. You know, 5 out of 7 continents. Speakers from 5 out of 7 continents.
Mm.
So look at this, Pan African situation. This African coalition. I'm gonna keep saying African coalition because that's what it is. You see what I'm saying? When you get a conglomerate like this together, converging for one particular common cause, you have a coalition force. I was in the military, so I know what coalition forces look like and what they're comprised of. So you got the different nations coming together, and their common cause was, economic empowerment through fisticuffs, designed to look like warfare. You understand what I'm saying? So land grabbing, people grabbing, technology grabbing, natural resource grabbing, all of that, all together under one umbrella, talking about, fighting terrorism. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, uh, so this is our resistance to this assault by all of our other, enemies on the planet. So let's converge on this location and continue to be strong and resilient. And we have all of the tools. We got all of the information. After this, we should be able to, you know, build a pyramid if that's what you want to do. Understand? So Brother Aluis is giving us the breakdown, 30 breakout rooms, 3 keynote speakers, 4 live podcast radio shows, and special guests. You understand what I'm saying? All that, and you get Sutek Amen Ra. Okay? So
Man,
that should, you
really on
should be
top,
paying $1
baby.
billion. You
That's the
understand
cherry
what
on
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You should be paying $1 billion to be here. You understand what I'm saying? Definitely go to www.dtc1.org and get those tickets ASAP. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Do somebody a favor and buy 5 tickets and give them to 5 people who don't know nothing about nothing, and just tell them to come with an open mind. Do that. Do that. Do that for your friends. Do that for your. If you love somebody, you got loved ones that you care about. Get them some tickets and just tell them, hey, I just want you to check this out. You understand what I'm saying? I
They got
guarantee you
it,
something
bro.
will happen and change, within them over these next couple of days that's coming up for this conference. I guarantee you. So if you want to figure out how I'm, get this information to my family that I'm learning, blah, blah, it's something for everybody, for the children, for the elders, for everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So let's be cognizant of that and let's get this push. You understand what I'm saying? So Tech, we up out of this joint. Thank you again for coming through. Don't be a
Thank you, brother.
stranger. You understand? And tell Radio 2, you understand, he delinquent. Like the wash. Tell him like the wash. You know what I'm saying? Some knowledge is out there like Snoop was in the wash, telling them you delinquent. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna get up. Peace.
Peace, Black Power. Death to the Negro.